My name is John Bogroski. I am the Vice President of Organizational Performance for Nordam. I've been married for 16 years, have 3 children, Alexis, Megan, and Devin, married to a beautiful, most forgiving, understanding wife there is, Jeanette. When I came to SCC, I don't know if I was necessarily looking for a church. Things have been going really well in life, and you know, there were things that were definitely missing, but I thought I had everything figured out. My daughters had been coming to SCC with the Felton family, and there was one weekend when they couldn't make it to church, and asked Dad to take them to church, and you can't say no. So showed up to SCC, and this bald guy, when I showed up, knew my name and welcomed me, and turned out to be the pastor, and set the tone for, I think, a great experience. And I remember one of the first songs that I heard Jameson and the band play was Forever Rain. And every single word in there spoke to me. It resonated with where I was at, and it started changing my mindset of, man, this is it. I mean, this may be what's been missing, this emptiness, this void that I've had, and it's been coming ever since. I belonged to churches before. Was born and raised Lutheran in Michigan, and never connected. Was always part of youth groups that were more, I don't know, as a check the box versus really belonging and being part of something. And at SCC, the community side of it really anchors in a piece that I love, which is accountability. I've been preaching accountability for the last 20-some years of my life, in work, in life, and I had to throw it in, or else this whole presentation would be absent, because I think I have accountability tattooed somewhere on me. But I think that community piece really helps people face some of those challenges they go through on a regular basis, and the enemy's tugging at us to distract us away from Christ's message, to pull us from where we should be doing. I think that community is a group of people that think, believe, that you are dependent on, and that help you stay focused on the things that you need to be doing to have a better relationship with God. And you know, on the fun side of it, you know, as the community piece has opened up this entire new world for me for friends, and has increased, I think, the quality of surroundings that my family's exposed to, has filled our lives and given us maybe some things that we're definitely missing, as far as involvement, as far as things that we're accountable for, such as setting up on Sunday mornings. You know, that community piece, that is part of the community, I think, is, you know, there are Sundays that I don't want to get up and come to church. I'd like to sleep in. You know, they get a lot of good shows on late night on Saturday. But I know that I have to be here. I know that there are other people that are depending on me, and I don't want to let them down. I think that community piece really reinforces that. You know, James, one of the biggest challenges that I've had, I think one of the biggest challenges I think guys have in general, is the thought of, you know, I think Kenny's put at one point, you climb in the lap of the Lord for security. That's kind of tough as a guy to visualize climbing in the lap of another guy. In fact, it's maybe a bit creepy. But when you get that understanding that is the relationship that we have with God, that is the sense of security that we can get from Him. You know, that's the biggest piece for me. You know, for 39 years, have tried to do everything myself. Was an only child, so I truly, firmly believed that the earth revolved around me every 24 hours. But so you're doing everything alone, and everything is about me. I think my relationship with Christ, this journey that I've been on, especially over the last year, has really taught me that I don't have to be in this alone, that I can climb in the lap of the Father for security, that you know, when the thunder gets too loud, when the noises get chaotic, that there's this place to go, and it creates that sense of comfort for me. I think it SCC, which is great. For the last year, I've seen us grow immensely. We just the people here are of the highest quality. So how would I encourage? I would say you got to be committed. There's an old adage of the ham and egg breakfast. In the ham and egg breakfast, that the chicken was involved, but the pig was committed. I think in order for you to get that community to be a part of something, you can't just be involved. You have to be committed to your relationship with God. You have to be committed to the people that are part of that community. And you have to be committed to expanding upon your faith and the learnings and teachings of Jesus.
My name is Penny Gibson. I am in the HR department for Nordam. I am married to Troy, and we have a son together named Ian. And for fun, I like to do anything outdoors, so boating, camping, hiking, fishing, swimming. And the way that I found SCC was through a great friend of mine who also happens to be my boss. He was aware of some of the personal struggles that we were having in our relationship, and recommended that we come and listen to a guy that he had some respect for. And so we came to church one Sunday, and I don't think we've stopped coming since. The community piece is probably the reason that we have kept coming to SCC. Without the community piece of it, I think it would be another kind of check the box, it's Sunday, let's go to church kind of a thing. But the community piece is what has expanded our network of friends, our support system. It's given me the opportunity to really understand what church is about and the role that it plays in my life. So it's immensely important to me. My relationship with God has probably started and developed as a result of coming to SCC. Prior to that, I think I had a vague understanding of what it meant to believe, kind of from a, I guess, third-party perspective. And since I've been coming to SCC, I've been able to listen to people and understand what their relationship with God is about, been able to frame that in a way that made sense for my life, and it's given me the opportunity to kind of put together all of the thoughts and the feelings that I've had with that before, I guess, I started coming to SCC that didn't necessarily make sense, and kind of it's wrapped it all together, put a nice bow on it, and I think I get it now. It is hard to wrap up one thing that God is working in my life, because it's become clear to me that He works everything in my life. And I say all the time that obviously I am not the one that's in charge, because this is not how I would have planned things out. But I now understand that kind of where my role is and where I fit into that. And the biggest thing for me is knowing that God is in charge and that He can take care of things and protect me in that. And in time, I will come to understand that what that bigger plan is. So I guess it's not one thing, it's everything for me that He's working, and knowing that He's got it all under control. I would encourage people to be open-minded, and whether it's listening to someone preach, or if it's listening to music, or if it's reading the Bible, but really taking the time to open up your eyes and your ears and your heart so that you can understand that all of those things that everyone else is talking about, or that you're reading about, really relate to you. It's knowing, I guess I felt like I knew everything all along, but that my eyes weren't open, or my heart wasn't open, or you know, my mind wasn't willing to accept that those things were all coming from God. So if you can open up your heart and be vulnerable and listen to that.
Hi, my name is Ashley Denard. I'm currently in school to become a physician assistant. I started coming to SCC because I grew up with Jameson, the worship pastor, ever since we were really little. He moved to Tulsa in the midst of me moving to Tulsa, and I seen on Facebook that he was becoming involved with this church, SCC, and so I told him, you know, I'll check it out. I didn't do it for a while. I was scared. I kind of just fell into I'll just, you know, go to church every Sunday at a random church, kind of be a visitor, until he kept asking me, you know, when are you going to come visit us? So I finally came to SCC and I loved it, and I'm just happy to be here. Well, I've always been involved in church. I was really involved from the beginning of high school to the end of college. I was involved in pretty much every aspect that I could be involved. I thought it was a very big part of my life. Since graduating from college, I didn't really have that community, and I knew that it was missing. It's a big part of you know, my faith and how I like to live life. And I think it's important to live life with other people that are seeking God, and they can influence your behavior and how you view the world. So I think by me joining in a community group here, I have been going to the Paselk Simpson group for 6 months now, and I think just living life with other godly people has a big influence on, you know, how you do life. Since moving to Tulsa, well, I'm going to start before I moved to Tulsa. By getting accepted into PA school, I applied to both the Tulsa program and the Oklahoma City program. I've lived in Oklahoma City my entire life. Didn't really want to move away. I was kind of frustrated, you know, God, why are we taking this journey? You know, why are you sending me to Tulsa? I don't know anyone in Tulsa. My entire family is in Oklahoma City. I'm kind of scared, you know, why did you do this? I've come to find out that God is taking me through a slow journey, meeting people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, and becoming more of an influence on people. I feel like in my class at school, and also just being able to have the opportunity to be part of the worship team. Again, that's something I was missing in my life, and I just enjoy the community, and I think God is challenging me to be a part of this community that I'm in for however long He keeps me in Tulsa. And yeah, I think God is trying to teach me to be patient. I'm not a patient person, and I think by not revealing everything that He has in store for me right now is really teaching me patience. It's kind of hard. I graduate in 7 months, and I'm trying, you know, to figure out where I'm going, and I feel like God is kind of just, hey, you can chill out. I got this. We'll just go with it, and you'll end up someplace that I want you. So I think that's the biggest thing right now. I just think life is really hard, and struggles come up, and if you don't have godly people in your life, or people that have maybe even gone down the same path that you're going down, and here to encourage you and lift you up, then it's going to be a lot harder than having those people around.
My name is Alicia Nutter, and I just got back from a 2-week mission trip to Latvia. While I was in Latvia, I spent a lot of time building relationships and talking to people who I would be working with in the future. Most of the time I spent in the city of Kuldiga, and I worked with Matisse and Ilsa. They're a couple who have started a youth group in their city, and in this place there isn't anybody to work with the youth, and so God laid it on His heart over this past few years to start this, and in the fall is when they did. And so I got to spend some time planning with them and praying with them, and going to one of their group nights that's called Connected. And there I actually got to share my testimony with their group, and it was really cool because I didn't know how I was going to exactly share it, but I prayed a lot about it beforehand, And I really feel like God empowered me through that to spread His message and what He wants for each of their lives. Like, I don't remember everything that was said, but I definitely know that God is using it and He will continue to use it. Some of the things I did for fun, there was kind of a lot, but one of the things I got to go to the first couple of days to a school of worship camp. And this is where all of my contacts were, all my friends were, and so I just spent the time with them and like just got to worship with friends and with new people who became friends, and that was just really cool. It's definitely the highlight of my trip. It brought me to a deeper level of worship too with God, because I didn't always know what they were singing. I just knew who it was about, and that's all that mattered. And so that was one of the most fun things, but yet one of the like deepest and most spiritual areas of growth in my life that happened over that trip was at the School of Worship. The support from SCC was incredible, not only through the financial support, which just totally blew me away in how much you guys all gave. And a short little tidbit on that, I actually ended up leaving a big chunk with Matisse and Ilsa to help with their youth group, and they were so thankful. They were praying, because one of the things is these kids don't always come on Friday nights because they live so far away and they have to walk. And so with the part of the donation that was given and that we left for Matisse and Ilsa, they were able to fix up their car, so now they can give kids rides home, so more kids will show up on Fridays. And so they were so thankful and just so blessed by that. And then also through your prayers and support, you know, with the cards that came from the Pierce's community group, like always knowing that no matter what, that there was somebody praying for me, and the cards, like reading them, and just at the exact time that I would feel down or feel maybe discouraged, like I would read one of their cards and it would be exactly what I needed to hear. One instance was things didn't go quite as planned, and so I read one of the cards and it was like, God has you exactly where you want to be and where you're supposed to be. And that just was really calming. And you know, even to connect with you all on the Facebook page, like, and to see the responses from people almost immediately, like, we're praying for you, we're praying for you, we're proud of you. Like, it just really was an uplifting and an encouragement and an affirmation, you know, even towards the future. So I really, really appreciated it. All the things that I've learned about community through these last couple of years with SCC, and just through learning what it means to be a believer and to fellowship with each other, I was able to bring that into, it helped me kind of just engage in their culture more. Like, they are very relational people, and so to know that you have to kind of step out and build those relationships. You know, I had to do that when I first came to SCC. Yes, people were welcoming, but at the same time, like, you had to give and take some too. And so to take that to another country, and to take that whole fellowship side of things and how important that is, and to talk about the things of God, like, it drew me closer to people a lot quicker than if I would have, you know, just been off by myself or waiting for someone else to approach me. Like, I learned a lot I've taken a lot from what I've learned at SCC and took it with me to Latvia, and it really did help a lot, even in their churches and stuff like that. And so it's been a really good lesson to apply. Right now, I believe that God has placed on my heart that come the fall, end of August, beginning of September, I will be back in Latvia for 2 years. There was a lot of affirming things that happened on this trip, and as I've continued to pray about things as I have been home. And so the biggest thing that I could get from you guys is, like I said before, is prayer. Just pray that I would continue to just be filled with the wisdom that God would give me of what to do next and what's my next step forward. I will be going back to work with Matisse and Ilsa in their youth group in Koldiga, and also help out their church some. But I will pretty much be spending every day doing ministry, whether it be able to go into a school and work with kids, or to go on Friday nights and hang out with these girls who are in a drug rehab center, and then bring them to the connected nights. Like, a lot of it will be relationship building and discipling, and also how you guys could help is it obviously takes money. Like Kenny said, like, missionaries will ask for prayer, but really they need money too. And so the support is really crucial. What I have it broken down to right now is if I can get 24 families, couples, or people to just donate $25 a month for 2 years, it comes out to be $600 over the 2 years. But that covers everything. That covers all of my living, all of the traveling expenses, and I mean, I was kind of blown away when it's just $25 a month for 2 years. That's just something you can be praying about. I don't expect everybody to be able to just hand me a check for $600. But if you could be praying about it, talking about it with your friends, if you know people, that's pretty much just what it comes down to, is by word of mouth. And, you know, just those prayers, I know that God will provide. I'm confident that God has called me there, and so I'm confident that He will provide. Because I've already seen it, like even with this 2-week trip. Like, I knew without a doubt that God called me to this trip, and I knew He was going to take care of it. And then, like I said before, you just blew me away in your support, and that wasn't all of it. So I just know He's going to provide.